Well, we had the main event. We had.
Yeah, Sony State of Play is the main event. Everything else is invalid.
I like how you're wrong, but you're just so adamant about being wrong that you almost sound like you're right.
Believe what you speak, and then it's right.
That's how you become a cult leader. Or a supervillain.
I mean, have you seen my shorts? These are basically cult shorts.
No cult wears shorts.
But look at the material, man. It's linen. Hello. Hello.
Every time you speak, I just hear the hell and not the oh. Or rather, you say hell and I'm like, oh no.
I mean, currently where we're living according to the temperature? Because it's supposed to be a high of 107 today?
Don't tell them that. They'll know. They'll know where we live.
Arizona.
Wink.
New Mexico.
Arizona, New Mexico, my favorite city.
Air Mexico.
Air Mexico, the one you're flying to hell.
New Arizona, where you actually get winter.
Wait, what?
That'd be weird, right?
If it would snowed in the desert, I'd be down. Friggin' playing hockey and building an ice rink with scorpions.
Why is your goalie trying to sting me?
You know, we were talking about Disney on the way here, and there's in Snow White the scene where all the animals are helping out with the cleaning part, and there's the squirrel like using the turtle's stomach as like a washboard. That scene is really fucking suggestive because it looks like he's basically just stretching out his dick.
So, funny story about
funny story about a turtle's dick.
No, before that though, hey everyone, I'm James.
I'm John.
Welcome back to Games with John and James. Funny tangent story. Before we dive in more to our intro, since John mentioned Snow White, I was literally watching. It was like TV. It was like 9 o'clock at night when I was in Italy. I'm high school, like 16 years old.
Right.
And it's just me and my dad. We're chilling so he had a bar set up in the basement because they bought like an actual bar in Turkey, so my dad could have it with him. It was beautiful, like made of oak, super nice, right?
So like an actual, like kind of cut out into like the living arrangement, like a bar itself, or like kind of like something you put on your desk, like a
no,
desk?
No, like picture like this beautiful oak / mahogany bar, like it's literal has a bar top and everything, and has like this open the door that flips both ways where you can walk in and out.
Oh, word.
But it's not super big to where you can't move it.
Okay.
Then we had a dartboard down there, and so we're watching TV. And my dad is like, we're flipping through, and he's like, oh, yeah, put it on Snow White. Just like joking, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's Snow White fucks the Seven Dwarfs. I'm 16 years old. And if you've been listening to the show, apparently my parents don't like fornication. So my dad goes like 10 shades of white. And he's like, turn the damn channel.
What I think is funny is like my parents clearly don't like fornication. Say that to me and my brother and other family members.
I might have 5 of them that I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't like fornication so much. Shoot one out. That one's a dud.
Yeah, but how many people can say they watched a brief bit of a Snow White porno?
Was it animated?
No, they literally had 7 midgets.
Oh. That's just
Snow
a good
White.
time.
And one of the before it shit, the scarring thing I remember, one of the midgets was like a shortened version of Ron Jeremy, but 4 times as fat.
So he looked like freaking squat Mario.
It was so bad. It looked like one of those Squishmallows that's too round.
For some reason, also I'm picturing it's like, how do they work in, like, was there a black dwarf there?
No.
That's just like ratings gold.
It was awkward.
It was awkward, huh?
Yep. So
I remember the first time I watched porno with my parents.
So
Jesus.
We yeeted that channel off.
Yeah. And then we never went to that bar again.
I stayed upstairs.
Yep.
So as we said, welcome back. This is.
I like how we were having the discussion over breakfast of whether we should just dive into the explicit ranking that we assign ourselves on this show, or we should try to clean it up.
I mean, it's a memory I spoke about in a clean way. Yeah, I can't do it. Like, no, I can't. Like, there's no way I can say that without laughing.
Snow White and the 7 dicks.
Oh, man. So, welcome back, everyone. This is, of our main line, episode 31. However, John, if you've been paying attention, hit you with some hot fire from the Summer Games Fest. We got 2 Just Games with John episodes out. Also, you get to see a pretty cool new little logo, so, head on over and listen to them.
Graphic design is my passion.
Oh, yes. So, as
The fact that I didn't use Comic Sans bites me every day.
Just wingdings.
Oh, you want another tangent story? You know why wingdings exists?
Enlighten me.
So this is back in the old days when the actual typefaces didn't really exist. Printing presses were the norm, right?
Yeah.
So how do you represent something graphically with no real ways to actually make graphics? Because in the olden days, like calligraphers and all these people would actually hand draw or hand write all of these fancy, borders and ways to whenever you'd open like a Renaissance era book and it's very elaborate and very well drawn. So how do you do that with the innovation of the printing press? Well, you make a typeface that is basically all just shapes and curly cues and graphic design elements. So you can just lay those out in your printing format and print it on paper. And so that carried over into the future with computers. So if you wanted to print something out that looked very fancy, instead of having to either draw that yourself with some type of, koala pad on the Commodore 64, you could just get an actual font base that has all of those elements. There you go.
Huh. Wingdings throughout history.
By Coastal.
So, as you know, we hit you with some hot fire reviews. John has some pretty cool stuff from Scarlet Nexus, but before we dive into that, I have to say, went on another work trip, was gone for another week. You guys did not get to pick the game I played, but I decided I was going to kind of branch out a little bit. It is still an RPG, but it's Dodgeball meets RPG meets Pokemon in Dodgeball Academia.
Jocks meet nerds in the ultimate rubber ball bouncing showdown.
It is a very weird game, but it is adorably addicting. I played it over the whole trip. You get ultimate moves that are called Baltimates.
Uh-huh.
And, one of the main characters, she's portraying, this roided-out jock in the sense where she's just like, woo, dodgeball, woo! It's just ridiculous, and the character design is over the top and just batshit nuts.
It reminds me of the show OKKO, so it makes me wonder if Ian James, that gentleman, was working on it.
Hey, we'll have to take a look. But I highly recommend it. Combat's fun. The story, you're getting a parody story. We're just going to be blunt. It's ridiculous. They poke fun at everything. And even when you're going to the infirmary to heal your team, it sounds like an off-brand version of the Poke Centers. Dun, 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 dun.
Uh-huh. So just stuff your kids into some balls and they're all better.
And then when you're running around, and you know how in Pokemon, you run through the grass, don't challenge you to a battle. You're going to battle.
Random encounters, the bane of every video game's existence.
So you're when the trainer sees you and it's like an exclamation point pops up and he comes at you.
Yeah.
So literally, they do the same thing, and it's an off-brand Pokemon beat. I think they said, you know what, we're going to full send, and this is going to be campy, ridiculous goodness. I mean, and the equipment in the game is everything from a pair of old socks to improve your agility to stinky underwear.
Oh, God dang it. See, now it just crosses over into perv territory.
So I highly recommend it. It's on the cheap. I believe it's only $30. So it's on PlayStation 4. It's on Switch. I believe it's also on Game Pass because John mentioned that when I told it to him.
It is currently on Game Pass, yes.
So it's on every console. You have no excuse. This one play if you need a break from a serious game or a JRPG like John's about to mention. Give some Dodgeball Academia a shot. It is a certified play it.
Yeah, play with your balls. Play with your balls, not freaking sing to them. If your balls actually make that noise, I am very afraid.
They wink.
No, they're just wrinkled.
They go click and clack. I might have bigger problems if they go click and clack.
If they go click and clack, that means that you're firing blanks, Jimmy.
That's... Oh, God.
Now I'm just picturing Super Soaker commercials. Anyway, no real updates on Scarlet Nexus right now. I said it in the solo episodes, if you happen to listen to those, but I got to the point where the plot twist happens and there's revealed that there's some crazy conspiracy stuff going on and the party separates. The one thing, like I mentioned in the previous episode, it's still kind of weird to me that you're hanging out with your supposed separatist friends at Musubi's, just getting drinks and food. Like, what? Like, that's the kind of stuff that is so tropey in these games that really doesn't sell me on them. Like, the world is ostensibly ending. Like, their entire world is flipped upside down, but they still have time to get drinks at the end of the day together. Like, is it all just a game? Like that, it feels like it should be more dire than it's being portrayed.
It does kind of break you from what happens, because it is very lighthearted when you get to that. Because then when you get out of that, it's just like, well, here we go.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to quote John here. It's actually keeping my interest, is what he said. And he has never said that.
Yeah, I'm not bored.
From any RPG I have ever recommended.
Well, like, because I've always said that, like, I've not always said it, but I've always kind of firmly believed that you should have neutral experiences are usually the worst. So it should either delight you or infuriate you. If you're just like, meh, those are the worst.
Yeah.
So the previous games that you've recommended to me, at least I've had the decency to be mad at them for what they felt like were wasting my time. This one needs to still win me over, but again, I'm not bored. I want to see what happens next.
The only other time John was like somewhat vested was the opening scene of Final Fantasy Type 0.
And then they screwed that shit up real fast.
Like, when he watched the opening scene and he's like, they fucking killed a chocobo.
Yeah, like, that's, in terms of symbolism, like, you're trying to say something with that type of imagery, and then they completely screw it up.
And then you felt a Japanese PSP game.
And then it's like all about the schools and the magic and like, you know, we're in the middle of this war, but make sure to get classes on time. And I'm like, I hate you.
Hey, it's a prequel to... Because remember, it was a Japanese PSP exclusive, so it's a prequel to all the Simi stuff to come.
It's disgusting.
You're disgusting.
You know what should happen is you go on an adventure and it happens.
You mean Grandia?
No, Stranger of Paradise. Dude just basically shows up fresh off the bus, finds two dudes with other magic rocks and becomes their friend. Like, cool, I'm with it.
That one, have you actually finished that one yet, or you only got to play the demo?
I only got to play the demo currently. Like, I am playing Mario Strikers. I am playing more stuff on Game Pass because I have Scarlet Nexus. I played through the DLC for Far Cry 6. I still have to finish the Kirby game because people who have listened to previous episodes know why I was kind of indisposed for 2 months. But yeah, like, there's a lot on my plate right now.
Us as gamers, we feast in good. After Dodgeball Academia, I am actually through 57 games this year. That is the sound of John grabbing his head like, my brain hurts.
Doctor. No, I mean, good on you, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know, like, if I technically have beaten probably a couple. I think I've beaten a couple games this year already. Mm-hmm. If you count things like Knuckles Chaotix and
it's a game, so yeah. You're counting it.
Yeah, so like being able to actually play that stuff again, that's been a lot of fun.
So John mentioned something pretty cool, which allows us to tell you about our fun topic today. John said, I kind of got a lot on my plate when it comes to gaming. He mentioned Kirby, Scarlet Nexus, the various other games he's playing on Game Pass, Super Mario Strikers, Far Cry, the DLC.
That one's finished, though, so that's good.
It is finished, but at one point you had, we'll say, 7 different things on your gaming plate.
Like a freaking half dozen games just waiting for me.
It gets to be a lot, so don't touch that dial. When we come back, we're actually going to give you the roadmap to success for dealing with your backlog and your current games you're playing. So we'll be right back. DJ, hit it! Literally this year alone, I think I've bought 60 fucking games. It's insane. And it's not just RPGs. And when you think about that,
I think you have to qualify that statement, but okay.
well, when you think about that, there's just no time. Like, unless I'm a fucking millionaire and get to sit on my thumb and spin, there is no time to dive through all 60 games. Because literally at one point it was Horizon Forbidden West. That's easily a 100-hour game.
Yep. If you want to complete it.
Elden Ring.
Yeah, that's a bigger one.
At the same time. Like, where are you selling your soul?
Kirby. That's what I bought in March.
So, yeah. So, I've kind of developed a blueprint that's, as I've told you, I've played through 57 games this year. And when I say through, it doesn't mean to completion. There are some games you just load up, kind of like you, where you're like, well, this sucks.
Yeah, like Crusader Kings, like you mentioned.
Remy Lore and the Lost Lands of Yore.
From Spy X Family?
Oh, man.
Can't wait for that show to end so I can stop seeing on my fucking timeline.
Fair. Diving right in. We're back from the music.
Do you think any Olympic diver is singing as they're going to fall into the water? I don't think so.
No, I think they're thinking, please don't let me fart as I impact.
Or don't make a splash that sounds like a fart.
Yo, what happens if a diver, what happens if a like high diver, you know how they're doing the flip and then they go in?
Flip.
What happens if they hit the water wrong and it's just like a poop explosion into the water? Do they have to stop all the other divers, or
of course they would?
Or do they swirl it because there's so much chlorine to where it mixes in and they're like, okay, you're good to jump?
It's like a shit smoothie swimming pool. No, they clean the fucking pool. Ask Curry about that sometime.
Oh, man. So, welcome back, everyone. As you know, today's episode, it's how to deal with your backlog. And not just your backlog, what we're dealing with as gamers currently, which...
We are such a prejudiced mass.
Don't judge me, bro.
No, I just like, it's so hard for us. We're eating too good.
I'm feeding good, daddy.
It's like how I've been referring to things like VR goggles as privilege goggles and the Steam Deck as the privilege switch.
Yo, the Steam Deck loaded up with emulators is the best thing known to man.
But they can do like Retroid pockets and stuff.
They can, but it's better on the Steam Deck.
Sure. I mean, if people are doing it, it's the same thing where you can get
space.
I know bigger space and stuff, but there's the same thing you can do with like an Xbox where you can just run it as developer mode and then you can just put emulators on it.
I mean, also fair, but still. We eating good.
Yes, too good.
So, like I told John, I think I've purchased 60 games this year through my limited run stuff that's come in, my regular JRPG purchases.
And the copies of Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Oh, yes. By the way, before I dive in, it is now week 4 of Sonic and the Secret Rings. And not just me, but now there's other Sonic stuff just being thrust into the office.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And I love it.
Yeah, I've made sure that Tails and Amy are making out on your desk right now.
Oh, no, they're back on your desk.
Do you have a life, or is it just that? Just torturing me? Because I am firmly in the camp right now that you are gaslighting me so much that there are no games. I have been very thorough in my search of my desk and the region around my desk. I have not seen
I told you it's not just your desk anymore.
No, you said that after like however many weeks.
No, after the first, I gave you 1 week to find it in, so the hiding spot of your desk. I will reveal that on air because I am a generous soul. I legitimately leaned up your wall locker thing and I taped it to where if you looked down, you would see half of Sonic and the Secret Ring. So it would just be like half of the letters because it cut half top down. All you had to do was look under. But you didn't.
Under the wall locker?
I pushed it up, and I taped it under.
I looked behind the wall locker. I looked underneath it, and I didn't see it. So these things are moving at a rate that should not be acceptable. But, okay.
So the other place, when I also left it in your desk, by the way. So the other place, you can actually move, you know the little wall frames that are around our little cubicle frames?
Yeah, the cabals we live in.
It was inside that.
You can't do this anymore. This has to stop.
No. You don't understand. I have 52 copies of this game. And until you stop the virus, It will spread.
Well, this is how I'm stopping the virus. So, have you paid any attention at all to your desk?
Yeah.
Have you noticed anything different about it?
The cardboard tube or Sonic and Amy or what?
So you haven't noticed it yet.
What?
Well, now I don't want to tell you. Now I think you just need to see what's different.
What did you do?
Well, I can't tell you. You have to see it first.
I'm at least telling you what's happening. You can at least tell me.
I'll tell you what. You'll go back to the office sometime this week, right?
Maybe. If
So-
I'm not sent out again.
So if you're not sent out again, I want you to take a good look at your desk. And I want you to see if there's anything awry. And then we can talk about it.
Are you making my finger... My fingers? My finger?
What am I doing to your fingers? What is going on in your head?
I wanted to say figures, but it came out as fingers.
That's a Freudian slip right there.
Definitely.
That happened on air.
Are you making my figures have very intimate moments?
Well,
So that's a yes.
no, it's it's like a maybe because
Am I just giving you an idea now?
No, it's because I put the Tails and Amy that have showed up on my desk. I made sure that they are making out on your desk, but no, I have my own plans. So you'll figure it out, and then when you do, you'll probably text me.
You are jaded. You are like you are stink-eyeing me right now. You can stop the virus. If you find the original copy, it ceases. And then I just have that many copies of that game for no reason at my house.
I don't think you understand the amount of effort I'm willing to put into not doing this.
Yeah, but what are you going to do when other people find it and just set it on your desk and you just see a copy on your desk that's not the original?
I'm either going to wipe my ass with it, or I'm going to autograph them and hand them out at conventions if we go to conventions. Can we please talk about the main topic today?
Okay.
Because this is going to turn me into a fucking Walter White.
Anywho, so apparently John has struck back and I have to find out.
Yeah, you have to figure out why before things get worse.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, our backlog.
So it's really hard to dive into the backlog to figure out kind of what to play, especially with games that are coming out that you might have been waiting on. So we mentioned with the Sony State of Play, when the one that I was there with John for the kickoff to the Summer Games Fest, Rollerdrome, Street Fighter 6, Final Fantasy 16, Stray. Those are the big four for me right away.
Sure, and what I also think is interesting is that The Last of Us Part 1, the big PS5 remake of Last of Us, which I have my opinions on, that got announced as like the send-off of the actual Summer Games Fest marquee show.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they not announce that at their State of Play?
That's a good question. And I feel like we've kind of reached a critical mass where you mentioned it over breakfast. So new IPs are being sacrificed for the sake of nostalgia goggles, milking something for as Skyrim-y money as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And that's cool, because I mean...
Is it cool?
Well, let's be real. Resident Evil 4,
Uh-huh.
we both were kind of excited to see that. However, that's still the same vein of what we're not wanting to see with The Last of Us remake, right?
Yeah, I mean, the efficacy of like why a game gets remade over one that doesn't, like we can debate that back and forth, but at least Resident Evil 4 has the decency of being almost 20 years old.
Okay, so that's fair. So that's true nostalgia mode versus current cash grab.
Yeah, especially because Last of Us has also been available as a remaster on the PS4, and now it's getting a remake.
Yeah, no comment.
They've released the same. I'm the one talking right now. I'm going to buy the Origins collection for Sonic after having the Sonic Jam on Sega Saturn and the Classics collection on the DS and all sorts of crap. So, whatever, we keep buying it.
So as you all know, I sold my retro collection recently.
You're free.
I'm free. I might be actually getting back into it with handhelds only, though.
Please stop. You're relapsing.
So just current consoles, game total I have.
That's the equivalent of social drinking. I'm just staying to current consoles, okay? I'm not diving back in.
It's a light beer. I have 322 games on current consoles.
Hmm.
Of those 322 games on the current consoles, I've only played 100. And that's because with the retro stuff, that's where my main focus was.
Mm-hmm.
So this was about 2 years ago where I reached a point of, I like to call it game immobility.
Uh-huh.
I had such a breadth of choices available to me. I didn't really know what to do. Like, I enjoy the Tales of series. Do I want to dive into Tales of Xillia 1 and 2? Or
The new one that came out.
do I want to play Tales of Arise?
Yeah.
Or do I want to go back to the PlayStation 2 and play through the Xenosaga trilogy? Or the OG .hack quadrilogy?
What makes your situation a bit more difficult is the fact that these games require a lot of your time. Because for me, I mostly play like platformers and shooters. The most you're probably going to end up committing is like 8 hours.
So it, like, depending on the style of game you play, it's even worse.
Yeah.
And my first solution was, well, if you remember, John, I was playing what, like 10 games at once. I was like, oh yeah, I'm playing this on PSP. I'm playing this on my Vita. I'm playing this on my DS. Blah, blah,
Basically
blah.
assign like a tentpole game on each console.
And so that was my initial solution. So if you have the ability, so cheat number 1.
If you're like us and have like 20 different consoles, just pick your favorite game on that console.
So cheat number
Duke Nukem on the Gamescom, my favorite.
Oh God! Hey, it's getting a movie actually. A movie adaptation's coming out.
I saw that, and I don't know how to feel about it because there's not another tangent. There's no saying that movie can't be good, but do you really want a good Duke Nukem movie?
Yeah. If done right, it's going to be a gore fest with campy one-liners akin to Commando, right?
You know,
I would be okay with that as just a, hey, cool, this is a fun watch.
Yeah.
Look at it, you're agreeing.
Yeah, I'm...
High five! So, if you have the ability to enjoy multiple games simultaneously, and it doesn't have to be across multiple consoles, the first solution to kind of diving into your backlog is you want to rack and stack your games.
Uh-huh.
So for me, what I was doing then is I was going through my mega nostalgia goggles. It was, I remember playing this, I want to play this.
Mhm.
So I was trying to dive into my childhood.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I didn't own every JRPG, especially with my absence and hiatus with MOBAs and WoW.
Yeah.
And so I was really deep diving into my childhood. So at one point I had .hack, it was Quarantine in, so the 4th part. So Quarantine was being played, Xenosaga 3 was being played, Steambot Chronicles was being played, Grandia 2 was being played, and then on current consoles I was playing a replay of Tales of Berseria, and then on the Switch I was playing Lost Sphere.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked for a couple months. But with deep story-driven games, you eventually hit critical mass of, I don't remember what's going on.
Yeah, like the ingesting of information, especially in a very narrative-driven game. And when I say narrative-driven, like there are a lot of games that actually can be story-focused, but also don't take like over 20 hours to beat. So at that point, like this is why I think, and I didn't mean to insult you when I originally made this comparison, but like when you told me about how like you're fully engrossed in something, like, you know, engrossed in something, and how you basically shut your brain off, I'm like, oh, so it's just data entry. Like, how do you experience a game if it's just numbers? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, coming from a WoW background, I guess that's fine. But you know,
bigger numbers, bigger, better.
Bigger, better. Then you have to use the same builds over and over. Ugh.
So I reached a point, and this is 2 years ago, so it was right after the PlayStation 5 hit, that I was forgetting some of the story and some of the gameplay mechanics of the games I was playing because I just had too much on my plate.
Well, and that also raises the question on my end of like, if that's the case, if you're forgetting stuff, is it just because you're not being able to dedicate enough time to that, or is it because you're just not engaged with it?
So that's where so what I did was I started narrowing down. So I don't love every JRPG out there. Do I want to own them all like Pokemon and catch them all? Absolutely. But I don't love them all. And what I started doing and what I started noticing is the games I was forgetting stuff on. So I'm going to emphasize this with the utmost of importance. This was the next revelation to help you deal with your backlog. Just because you're playing something from your backlog or from your current rotation of games If it's not a good game and it's not something you like, you do not have to complete it. There is no entity out there that's pointing down at you saying, James, you loaded this and you will play.
Yeah, because imagine this is, coming from a Steam back catalog that I have. I still have. I don't even have a PC anymore because of incidents. But I remember having an entire Steam library that's over 150 games big. Some of those were double buys that I would have, like, oh, Sonic Adventure 2 was on sale, so I just bought it because it came with the entire Sonic collection. Like, I've played through all these games before, whether on the Dreamcast or on the GameCube or Xbox, whatever. So having them on PC is just another avenue to play them. So not playing them makes sense because I've played them before. But there are other games that I would get on sale which were like $2. And it's like, okay, what did you expect from this $2 game? If you really want to play it, keep playing it. If not, then it only cost you $2. It's like mobile games, right? You download a mobile game, you try it, and if you like it, you keep playing it. If not, you get rid of it.
Exactly. And so beginning of 2021 is when I started to cut some games. So game for the Switch, Remy Lore, Girl from the Lost Lands of Yore, however the title is.
It sounds whack.
It's literally this girl that gets sucked through a book to an alternate dimension, has to kill these demons and use the book to get back. And it plays like a very shitty Diablo clone without full map.
So it's Smashing the Battle, but with less titties.
It was god awful. I would rather load up Call of Duty, of which I am the most horrible person known to man to play that game, and play for a full week straight, no breaks, than ever load Remy Lore back up.
I know some good Call of Duty games you can play.
So I actually was playing that at the start of 2021, and I'm 15 hours in because at the time I felt if I play it, I want to complete it so I can fully check it off forever. Yeah,
so the first real solution to dealing with your backlog is deciding whether or not you even want to deal with your backlog at all. Because who's to say? Like, I'm one of those people who actually has my Switch, and like I've bought, cheapo games before. If I don't play them or don't want them there, I'll just delete them from my Switch and just like, okay, out of sight, out of mind, they're not there anymore.
There's nothing saying that you have to play it, so let go of a bad experience. We have, nostalgia goggles are real. I mean, look at what all the state of plays and everything are fucking throwing our way.
Yeah.
Just because it comes out and because you like it doesn't mean you have to play it to completion.
Yeah. Save that kind of stuff for the truly novel stuff. Because one of the things that I think, and this is where my kind of game design history comes in, where it's like, we tend to look at genres of games or even the types of games we like based on just their genre, right? Mm-hmm. Where we should look at them with the actual emotional investment that we get from them. So what's the experience that you value that is facilitated by the game that you play? So if you're not getting that, whether you paid $60 for it, whether you paid $5 for it, if you're not finding that experience, it's okay to move on. So I just like how our first solution is you don't like a game, go touch some grass.
If you don't like it, break it.
If you don't like it, trade it.
Never.
You really need to get into the pawn shop mentality because some kids like us grew up poor, so we had to.
So, what I recommend you do. So for a JRPG, obviously there are tutorials. Play through the tutorials and then give the game a solid try. So for me, my solid try post-tutorial for any game is 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
If within those 2 hours I don't feel a connection, hey, that's cool. I still purchase the game. I will come back to you eventually. You literally go to the back of the backlog.
I like how you are far more patient than I. I give it 5 minutes.
Not every game you can, do you think in 5 minutes post-tutorial, Scarlet Nexus would have hooked you? No.
If it was better, it would have.
But that's just it. Some games are a build-up. Some games, the hook isn't right there. So you even said the hook for you came in a couple hours in. And it's not like a deep hook in you.
The story hook happened. The gameplay hook was already there because I was having fun actually killing the monsters. So when you basically when you have to what's the word? It's where you're separating things out.
Parse it?
Yeah, when you have to parse it via what engages me via story versus what engages me via gameplay. It's like the thing we talked about in the first time I did my first impressions on this game. Why is everything separate? World exploration, story development, narrative, and gameplay are all separate things. There's ways to make that a cohesive whole, but they just don't do it.
Yeah, one day they will. One day JRPGs will hit it out of the park and it'll be your favorite genre. But today is not that day.
They did, and they made it a shooter. It was called Uncharted. If you had level up mechanics in Uncharted, that'd be a hot new JRPG.
Oh no. So don't be afraid to put games back into your backlog. That is the number one thing, because as time progresses, more and more releases are happening. Hell, on pre-order through GameStop right now, I have 15 fucking pre-orders throughout the year.
Coming out tomorrow.
That would suck.
Uh-huh.
And when you think about it, so right now, I'm almost done with Dodgeball Academia, and then my next super big fucking game I'm going through is Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
2?
I never beat it.
Oh, okay.
So I got...
if you like Booba, there you go.
I mean, fanservice.game.
The giant bunny witch who is made of ice? Yeah. If you ain't a furry, you gonna be.
Oh, no. So, but that game is easily at a minimum. So I enjoy trying to complete everything without a guide. So I want my first playthrough to be a natural playthrough. No spoilers, just me diving in. So I'm not going to watch any Let's Plays, strategy guide it. That's an easy, on your own, no hints or anything, because you're going to get lost in exploration and shit. It's a 100-hour game, minimum. Right?
It's designed to do that, though. So I guess if that's the experience... Again, we talk about experiences, right? If that's the experience you want, then go get it.
Now, with that 100-hour game, John, that... And the way our work is, because we're boop, 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 going places.
Yeah, we're bonus balling everywhere.
You know as well as I, there's going to be another 10 to 15. Hey, see what I did there? GameStop 15 games that come out before I can fully finish this, right? Mm-hmm. So my backlog is ever increasing, right?
Mm-hmm. So you have to basically apply the Karma Sutra of video game playing and go into tantric grinding.
Oh, God.
I think that tantric grinding already exists, and controllers are not involved unless you want them to be.
So, like, for me, the struggle of the infinite backlog is forever real. For every deep RPG I complete, 5 more games come into my fucking backlog.
Yeah.
And the cool part is, I've actually, this year is where everything clicked. So I gave you guys some stuff for old me. New me, anytime a new game comes out that, you know, I've pre-ordered, purchased, ordered from a various website, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I load it immediately, and I do so I front load my backlog. Now, so game that recently came out was the NIS America, the Printing Presents Classics Volume 2 with Makai Kingdom and
Grim Grimoire or the ZHP. Yeah.
So I never actually got to play Makai Kingdom or ZHP back in the day.
It seems like they were putting out new games like every other month.
And so I loaded up. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to give both a shot. Hour into Makai Kingdom, post tutorials. Maybe an hour into ZHP post tutorials. I'm like, neither one of these are for me. I'm happy I own it, because if I'm on... Both of those games are easily 30 to 50 hour games. If I am stuck somewhere and I need true offline games, I'm set. So went to the bottom of the backlog. And I'm starting to do that now with my new games. So... Here's where it's going to get a little ridiculous, and I'm probably going to see John go, huh?
If you're going to Tim Allen, you got to do it right, okay?
No, this isn't a Tim Allen. So I have, as I said, as I mentioned in a previous episode, I actually have a journal of all games I've completed.
Yes.
With the completion, there's asterisks. So asterisks means...
Steroids.
Oh, I'm Barry Bonds. Look how big my head got.
Someone like Barry Anderson, who was just like jacking home runs all throughout the 90s. It's like, oh, you can't take steroids anymore. Okay. And he never hit a home run again.
That's funny.
It's what steroids save baseball. I'll die on that hill.
I mean, they did.
Yeah. So
Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa. Enough said. Look at Sammy Sosa now versus Sammy Sosa's rookie year.
It's not his fault.
But anywho, I digress on that. We can talk sports and steroids because that's another fun topic.
Wrestling again. Anyway, continue.
So, man, I just lost my train of thought. Thanks, John.
We were talking about I was thinking about the Oakland A's where McGwire and Sosa would slam their forearms together.
Oh no! Steroid arm.
And so they were trying to knock each other. They were trying to dislocate each other's arms when they did that.
Who can pop out more vein?
Ugh, who has a corked bat? Oh,
Oh man. So it's kind of nice to do that because with my
what's the dip in ratings when we talk about sports on a video game podcast? Like, and they lost me.
No,
come back.
We're gonna have speaking into existence. Asterix. The Madden episode is coming out soon.
Oh wow! Like you actually got shit to say?
Sure.
I mean, I do. I played them.
You know I play them. That's my like. That is literally you. We had a conversation.
The guilty pleasure conversation. Yeah, we did that. What I'm saying is, did you play the ones like on Sega and stuff?
Yeah.
Damn. So we actually have things we can talk about.
I have played every football game that has come out for video games from Tecmo Bowl to current.
Damn. All right.
Kind of weird, right?
Did you freaking play Quarterback Club?
I want to say yes, but I don't remember it.
Or the freaking NES play action football where the guy came out. He's like, "Fuck them," and the music was great. I love that game.
So what I'm doing now,
and we lost him again.
Big giant tangent. So now what I do in order to keep me honest with my backlog, this is the most important part, is we have so many titles. And if you don't take anything away from this episode, you need to take this away. You're probably staring at Switch games, Xbox games, PS4, PS5 games, just on current consoles alone.
From an infinite number of genres as well.
So, and then if you never got rid of your retro collection, you're easily looking at anywhere from 600 to 1,000 titles on average. That's a lot of gaming, no matter platformer, JRPG, sports game, whatever. That's a lot. And immobility happens, and that was the hardest part for me to overcome because I got burnt out to the point I was like, I don't know what to play. Like, I would even get to the point where I would pick 5 games out from random things. Hey, Martha, what should I play? And she would be like, oh, this cover looks cool. Play that one. I was literally doing that because I couldn't choose anymore because I kind of got overwhelmed by the sheer enormity of what I had to play. So I created a 2-part system. Part 1, keep track of what you played. Because if you don't, with how much shit that's out there, eventually you're going to hit a moment of, oh, I'm going to load this up. And you're going to get into it. You're going to enjoy it. And you're going to have that realization of, fuck, I played this already. And you're either going to complete your playthrough.
If you play so many games, did you forget whether or not you've actually played another game? Wow.
I'm already on 57 games this year, John. It could happen.
Right, so 57 A and B, like, come on.
But
I'm going to play Kingdom Hearts 3. I made that mistake once. Let's do it again.
So what I do is I mark stuff in the journal that I keep. I mark, full complete, partial complete, and then I also have a color grade. I have a system. Green means I want to play this again in the future. Red means never. Even if I completed it, never again. I did it for the experience to either talk about with you glorious fans and John to no end, or because I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't know. Combination of both.
Yeah, we've already determined that you're a psychopath, so.
Yes. More news when John dies.
No.
Just a no?
No, you can't kill me.
I mean, we did identify my Disney side character as being the squirrel from Emperor's New Groove.
So you're just petty and kind of harmless, really.
Except for when I blow up the balloon.
Yeah, but that's not really you killing the kid. That's, the Panthers.
That's fair. But so, that is very fair. So, in keeping with the color grade system, I know anything marked in red is never going to return up from the backlog, even if I haven't completed it.
Right.
So by doing
you're scratching it out.
So I've played 57 games, and these are actually to completion -3. So 54 full JRPGs in some form.
There have only been 3 games you shit canned?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm weird.
Not weird. I think you're just dedicated.
No, Daemon X Machina.
Oh, wow. Wait, you're not going to finish that one?
Couldn't finish it. I felt like...
Was it on the Switch?
Yes.
Okay, the frame rate alone would piss me off.
Yeah. No.
That game needs to be on a proper console.
So, great idea, because I love mech-based, and I love sci-fi-based, anything, like Front Mission, Mech Warrior, Mech Assault, you name it. Love it. But it literally felt like my...
chaos.
It felt like my eyes were bleeding.
Yeah.
So as I told you, the NIS Presents Volume 2 with Makai Kingdom and ZHP. Not going back to that.
And what's the third one?
Disgaea 6 on the Switch.
Oh, yeah. And I like how those are basically down to performance problems and not like actual engagement.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it had been good, they would have been completed as well. Like, I've been traveling
you hear
so
that? You hear that, Disgaea 6?
Hey, good thing is it's coming out on PS5 this year.
So a proper console. Cool.
Exactly. Nintendo, we're looking at you.
Nintendo is like, it's like, I can't believe they said that. I'm suing. Don't worry.
So with that, my journal I put onto a spreadsheet on my computer. And that spreadsheet, any game that I haven't played. So I've shown John there's an app called GameEye. As a collector, or even just a gamer in general, put your games on that. It's going to let you know the value of your games, lets you track your collection, and just it gives you, and it even lets you know what you paid for it, because you can input that as well. So you can always track rise, fall, and everything like that. It's a good way to hold yourself accountable.
You know what makes me sad? For whatever reason, you talking about the collector's value stuff and what you paid, I was reminded of a time I was visiting home, and there were, like, in my neighborhood, there's a mall. It's now like the biggest mall, I think, in Oregon at the time. Currently, now. But there was a store that was like the Star Wars store, and it sold a bunch of figurines and Star Wars stuff. But occasionally, the people who ran the show, that store, would get video games in. They had a still in box copy of Metal Slug First Mission for the Neo Geo Pocket.
And you didn't pick it up?
I didn't pick it up because I already had one. I already had a copy, but it wasn't in box. And I regret it to this day.
That game is worth thousands and thousands of dollars.
Not for the Neo Geo Pocket.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Stand corrected.
Right. But what I'm saying is that even as a collector's value thing, just for, not even that, but like for me, like the aesthetic of it is cool. It's the same reason why I'm on the fence of going back home and buying the SNK versus Capcom for the Neo Geo Pocket, because it still has the box and the book.
Ooh.
But that's like $200.
And Knuckles Chaotix, you can afford it.
I like how that's going to be like the carte blanche. It's going to be like, you paid for Knuckles Chaotix, you'll buy this shit.
I mean, facts?
Kind of. Although my limited run Neo Geo Pocket collection finally came in, and that makes me really happy because it comes with a nice, well-made book that compares the Pocket versions of games to the Neo Geo like classic versions. That's fun. For all the shit I want to give Limited Run, when it comes to like their special editions, 9 out of 10 times they hit it out of the park with the goodies that you're going to get. They go hard.
And I appreciate that, because if I'm getting a collector's edition and all you do is you give me a fucking steelbook and a digital soundtrack, go fuck yourself.
The 10th anniversary collector's edition of Sonic Adventure came with a gold coin, which I think is really funny because it's a coin and not a ring, and then a CD and a book.
But that was back in the day.
That was 2001, yeah.
Yeah, that's back in the day. That's understandable. Nowadays, there's no excuse. Give me goodies. I have a giant... I got the collector's edition for the Final Fantasy VII Remake originally for PlayStation 4. There's a giant motorcycle and Cloud statue at my work desk. Give me shit like that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I was just there.
Okay. Anyway, so...
I hate you. I fucking hate you.
What?
Is this how you were feeling with Sonic and the Secret Rings?
Maybe.
Like, do you really feel that bad?
It's not bad. It's just more like you're really going to reveal some sides of me that I don't think you're ready to see yet.
Okay, look, I will give you... So on air, so you all can testify, we're going to pause on Backlog Understanding. When I come back from this tangent... I'm gonna
so we're throwing right into the outro.
When I come back from this tangent, I'm gonna give you the best way to keep track of it and hold yourself honest as well.
Okay.
So back to Sonic and the Secret Rings,
All
where
right.
you can understand every single game that's hidden now has a direct path. Extra parts of our office have opened up. I told you once a month hits, another location opens up. So that second location has opened up, which is currently where we're at. All of them, if you follow the ceiling tiles, I and my manic intensity have done things like 8, 2, 1, 4, 7, 1, 1, 5. And then when I land, that's the general area I'm putting things in. So, think like I would think and look up at the ceiling tiles and literally be like, walk, 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 turn, walk, turn, walk, turn, walk. And you'll be there. Are you okay, man?
You're making me want to give up the ghost on what exactly I'm planning, but I still am going to hold my tongue.
Don't you steal those figures.
How do you know they're not already stolen?
I'll kill you. You have to... This is like the most harmless prank there is.
Yeah, but you poked a bear, is what you did.
Why do you hate this game so much?
Because the one thing you never want to do is keep me from Sonic. If you get in the way, if you get in my way and try to get in between me and my blue big boy, we got problems.
I thought this was the one game you were okay dying.
Yeah, but now that I know that there's going to be a stack of 52 games on my desk, fuck it. I kidnapped your Cloud figurine. And every week that goes by where you don't help me find these games,
I can't help you find it.
I will send you back one piece of the figurine. And I'll start with individual strands of hair.
What are you going to do? Shave it?
Yeah. He's got hair.
And you say I'm psychopathic.
You poked the bear. Now, you're going to help me figure this stuff out, or you're going to just give up the ghost entirely?
I like how instead of saying figure, you also just inserted finger.
Well played. Look, we're going to either finger each other, or this is over. Have fun editing this episode. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
When all of the copies that are currently hidden in the office are on my desk, I will return Cloud.
There's only 4 copies in play right now.
Okay. Give me those 4 copies and I'll give you back Cloud.
Or you can find the original. It's in an easy spot this week.
You get this one last week. And if I can't find it, Cloud's, I'll be generous and give you back his sword.
Why are you like this?
Why are you like this?
You know I go extreme with everything.
You haven't seen extreme from me yet. You pushed me there.
Oh, you might also have little rings scattered around the office now at some point. Sorry.
Oh, I need a new cock ring.
Well, it's going to be tiny.
Oh, fuck you. I dropped my Magnum condom, which I use on my massive dong.
They're like that big.
Don't play the circle game.
I'm not. No, that's the circle
That's
game.
a fucking Cheerio, man. Stop trying to stick your dick in a Cheerio.
So
well, you realized how much of weird sadomasochism that goes through our heads on a daily basis. Can we get back to the show?
Yes, we can.
I like how that just got too real.
So as I was saying, the most important thing you need to do is track your collection. Now, be willing to part ways with your collection. John brought up a very valid point. Mm-hmm. That point is you kind of have to get into the pawn mentality. I'm not saying play it, get rid of it. Like, if it means something to you, it has sentimental value, keep it.
Like I said, Silver Linings Playbook, just throw it out the window.
So my spreadsheet, I have, games that have no color code are still games that I have to go through. The color coded games rotate to the bottom, so they're out of the way completely. So I don't get that itch to just be like, I want to see what Velvet's doing in Tales of Berseria today. La, 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 la.
Looking hot.
And then, hey, at least you acknowledge it.
I never not acknowledge that.
So
she burns a freaking pretty handsome boy's face off in the first act of that game. If that game actually put me where the things happened, I would have finished it.
Fair. But, well, one day you might.
Yeah. Okay. Loud.
Apparently, John's getting messages.
It's saying, like, you've spent a lot of time on the screen this week. Yeah, because I'm freaking doing this.
So
yeah, be willing to part with certain elements of your collection.
Mm-hmm. Trade fodder is a real thing.
Yeah, very true. And that's why you see a lot of copies of games in GameStop. But one thing I'll touch on really briefly, because this has pretty much been the James episode in terms of dealing with backlog. You play a lot more games than me. But for me, I think I break it down in terms of systems, right? So I apply the same type of system that you would for if you have a work task, right? What is the biggest, most challenging thing that you really need to sink your teeth into and, hunker down to beat? So let's say you have friggin' the Sonic collection, and then you have Far Cry 6. Far Cry 6 is a very involved, big open world game where you do a whole lot of stuff. Sonic is a platformer you can beat in 2 hours. Trust me, you do not want to play the Sonic game first. You want to play the Far Cry game first, because if you get the biggest task out of the way first, everything else is easy.
100%.
If you apply the same type of logic of take the hardest thing that you have to do, get that done first, everything else is easy. Because if you ride that high of doing the easy, quick things first, when that big thing comes along, you're going to be too tired. So focus on the thing that is the most involved and demands the most of your time, then give it to the rest.
Enough said.
Enough said.
So
also, I like how we're professionals in all this, because we literally just had like a mental breakdown in the middle of the episode and got back on track.
Oh, guess how I have. So you want a breakdown, huh? Since you took gloves off, guess what got me all copies of the Sonic and the Secret Rings games?
It was Henry.
No.
Oh. He was been the ringleader. He's the mastermind behind it all. What got you the copies of Sonic?
I don't have an Xbox anymore.
You monster! You are a monster. I can't even look at you. No, we're going to break. We're going to the outro. We're done with this. Get out of here. That's how you deal with backlog, folks. You freaking sell your $1,000 console and freaking use it as a freaking... I'm too mad.
I didn't even sell it. It was an even trade.
Oh, who the fuck had... Okay. All right. We're done. We're going to the outro.
Apparently people are like you and nobody bought that game, so this person had 375 copies total, to be specific.
So he could play one for every day of the year.
Plus 10. No, he was literally like, I can't move these. He's like, are you sure about this? I was like, what? Yes.
So you were the idiot he was looking for.
I am getting value out of this.
You could have... We're going to the outro.
This is the outro.
This is not the outro. We're going to take a quick break so we can calm the fuck down, and we're going to go to we're going to send it off, okay? We'll be right back.
Bye. Part is.
What's the best part? I'm dying to know.
I want another one of those consoles for $20.
If you want to let bygones be bygones and keep this fucking facade going, trade me that Xbox.
No.
I'll give you my current one. And you have no excuse to keep it as a collector's or sell it away because it's already opened.
Well, no, this one's actually open. So you'll be happy. I actually loaded up Halo Infinite, and Martha and I took turns playing it.
Hell yeah. You'd probably like that game, because the dichotomy of Chief and the weapon,
Are you recording this?
That's like a date night game.
Are you recording this? No, you're not.
Yes, okay. I am. I'm recording this. Now I am. So, okay, we've had time to calm down. You had time to take some deep breaths, and...
I had time to make John mad again.
Yeah, because fuck you.
John, tell them what happened.
Oh, they already know, but... apparently you won another auction that got you this console, but to your credit, as you just got done telling me, you actually played Halo Infinite with your wife, and that makes me happy. You're spending time on the Halo, which is where all God's children belong.
Do you know what makes me happy?
What?
The fact that I am not quitting on this practical joke. Unless our leadership team accidentally finds one, then I definitely have to abort mission.
Every week that goes by, you get one piece of your cloud. So if you really want to keep this up, you're getting cloud back in pieces.
You can put the cloud back, or I'm going to buy another 52 copies.
I am really out nothing. I just get more games to play.
So, real talk, since we're in the outro, real talk.
Uh-huh.
When all of the copies, so say you find the original next week, right?
Uh-huh.
So say you find it, and it's only the original plus the copies in play, right? So that would be 5 total copies, right?
Okay.
Will you keep them as a way to remind yourself of my manic retardedness, or are they just going to get burned?
I will keep one. The other 4... I'll have to find suitable punishments for them.
What would you do if you weren't able to find it for the entire year, and then I just front load all 52 onto your desk?
you would hopefully by then have every piece of Cloud back so you could reassemble him. And then, like I've said, I will probably keep one of them and then autograph the other 51 copies. And if, by the grace of our fans and listeners, get us to a point where our show will get us touring at different conventions, I'll autograph them and give them out to people.
How are you going to explain that to anybody that comes over? It's like, oh, this is a really cool collection. Rings. I'll
put all of my hentai figurines front and center so they look at those instead.
You're gonna hide it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like everybody, people often miss the things right in front of them.
Big facts. Apparently, I miss Cloud.
I remember when. Yes, you did. Also, I like how one of our coworkers actually had to stop by my place to pick something up, and they see my figurines like, that girl's got huge titties. I'm like, right?
So, as always, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Games with John and James.
If you want the definitive James experience, stick to the Instagram. If you want the distinctive John experience, stick to Twitter at Games with J&J.
So please, we've been gaining some followers, so let us know what your thoughts are. We are posting daily. So
well, let us know if you're Team James or Team John in this whole scavenger hunt madness.
Oh, completely random.
God damn it, what?
So you sparked a memory. In one of the collecting groups I'm in, when I was attempting to acquire these before finding them, everyone in the group, so there's like a comment chain of like 400 comments, literally like, we don't have, it was basically everybody like, no, I don't have this, but I am vested and I want to know the reaction. I am giving them week by week updates.
By the end, I'm going to look like freaking...
You have no hair.
Yeah. I'm not bald. I shaved my head. I'm going to die on that hill.
Did you buy the Pitbull one yet?
No, not yet, but that looks smooth.
It does, right?
Yeah, it's basically just like it's like one of those freaking foam brushes you use to shave, but it just sucks the hair out of your head.
I wonder if it makes a...
No, it just sings you different Pitbull songs.
Oh,
it's
God.
basically just the same Spanish phrase over and over again.
So you press it, the music's on, you let go, and it stops. So it's just like constant musical blue balls.
Don, 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 don. Donde está bañero?
So, thank you so much for sticking around. This, obviously, the topic is important when it comes to your backlog because... as we progress, we're just going to keep growing our collections. And sooner or later, you hit that point of critical mass where you just don't know what to play. Or, to play it safe, you just keep throwing back in stuff that you know is safe. You just play what you've played.
Yeah, I did that with Shadow the Hedgehog for a long time.
And
I got over like 100 different endings. Yeah.
That's fine. But then you miss out on so many other things that you've purchased. And then you're going to look at yourself and be like, why did I even purchase this?
You're going to look at the time that, you got in wicked good shape or you learned a second language and think, crap, I should have played those video games instead.
So make sure you manage that backlog. And if you have questions about it, hit us up on Instagram or Twitter. We will be glad to impart more words of wisdom as well as updates for what's happening to John and apparently myself.
Mm-hmm.
So
you
as
brought
always,
this on yourself.
No, you brought it on. You're the one that revealed to me you didn't like Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Oh, hey, this thing I don't like. Here's all of it. And whereas, like, I'm trying to rightly punish you for that, I'm suddenly the bad guy.
How is this a punishment?
We eating good, boy. With Sonic and the SpaghettiOs.
You know what's going to be great?
What's going to be great?
I'm going to run out of spots to hide it, and there's going to be one week where it just sits there, and it's not an original copy, and it just stares at you right on your desk.
And it's just you're going to have a drawing of Sonic with his big old stinky dick flopping out, just like, hey, John.
I almost printed out Sonic pictures for it.
Dead memes. Dead memes. This is the memes go to die. Oh. Do we want to... Is that it? Are we done?
So, thank you as always. This has been very random. I think this is probably going to be the last episodic update of John's manic...
descent into hell. This is Jonte's Inferno.
I was about... Yeah, look at that. I was... Same wavelength.
Yeah. This is exactly why we're trying to torture one another.
The video game or the anime adaptation?
There's an anime... I think the video game because you got to play as frickin' Isaac from Dead Space. And that was pretty frickin' cool.
That's fair. So, I'm James.
And I'm John, and I'm exhausted.
And this has been Games with John and James and the Secret Rings.
Can we do that again? Can you just say like, well, I'm James.
Well, I'm James.
And I'm exhausted.
And as you know, this is Games with Secret Rings and James.
New co-host, actual Sonic.
He is reincarnated.
After 3 weeks of loading screens, he's here.
Thanks, Microsoft. We hate you.
Thanks, Microsoft. Wait, no. Hey, no, we're not ending on that. All right. We'll see you next time, folks.
Bye.
Bye.